of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Got me cut before I fuck around and get naked. Cut. Oh, some deltas in here, some deltas in here. Oh, okay, my delta flight attendant, but you know. Fuck y'all, don't judge me. Don't do that.
Okay, so today I have a very, very, very special guest. This man is a comedian, actor, philanthropist, quick-witted entrepreneur, podcast host, creator of the popular series on Instagram, Cereal Bowl Chronicles, member of the Omega Phi Psi or Qs, one of many leaders in the Black community, comedy's underdog, father, and substitute teacher on the side, the one and only Steve Brown.
What's happening? How are you?
Doing all right. How are you today?
I'm great, but we got to make one correction.
Yes.
Okay. That correction is I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the greatest fraternity in the world. How about that? So yeah, there it is. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to meet you, and I'm glad that you chose me for your interview. I'm flattered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was like, I know before, when I first was thinking about, doing the interview, I said, I need to interview another comedian. Because before I interviewed Pierre Edwards, and then I said, I feel like I need to, and then I saw Mr. Gary Johnson.
Okay.
And I said, I feel like I need to interview another comedian that I really like. And that's when I thought about Mr. Steve Brown. I said, I got to get in contact with him.
I appreciate that. And all these misters and all that, Mr. Gary Johnson. You're talking about G thing, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Pierre, those are my dudes, very funny comics. And then now you're referring to me as Mr., which I appreciate the respect, but I'm going through a midlife crisis, so don't call me Mr. Just just call me your homeboy, Unc, or something. I don't even like Unc, but you can call me that, How old are you?
21.
Yeah, see, I'm 27, so yeah, how about that? 27. So we'll do that. I'm gonna bring it down some, well, not some, but a whole lot. I'm gonna bring it down a whole lot. Actually, I'll be turning 57 in July. So, but it is what it is.
You don't look a day past 27. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate it. Even though you don't have interviewing your granddad, but go ahead. We gonna go with it.
Okay. You were born July 27th.
Yeah.
1967 in
yeah. You ain't gotta rub it in though. You gotta rub it in. You tripping.
Don't look a day past 27. So
that is
1967 don't really count. You know what I'm saying? That don't really count. So
it doesn't.
Just cross that out.
Crop it out.
Steve Brown, one thing I want to say is you were born 4 days after the eruption of the racial tension between the police and the African American community. Now,
right.
Did you find inspiration from those turbulent events in shaping your comedic perspective, or did this result in a immediate move to Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Well, let me say this. I was just being born afterwards, so I ain't had nothing to do with that. That was my mama and my grandmama them and all that mess. You have to ask them that. But the thing is, I would say my mom was a brave woman for two reasons. Because she moved me from that toxic environment, and she got me away from her cheating husband, which is my dad. So that was a very, very, very admirable move, and it showed the courage that she had. She moved me to LA, as a matter of fact, Los Angeles, California. Lived there till I was about, I would say 12 or whatever, but I had started getting into a whole lot of trouble, because my mom was always working, and it was me and my three siblings. I have two older brothers and one older sister. And of course, I was the black sheep, the brown sheep, whatever sheep you want to call it. I was that person. So I was always getting in trouble. So my mom, like I said, she was working a lot because it was just us. And I had gotten out of hand. I mean, I would say once I look back on it, and my mom was like, okay, instead of moving me to Bel Air, she moved me to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, with my grandparents. Right. So no Bel Air for me. It was Tuscaloosa, Alabama. To a man who I absolute hated, my grandfather, which now he's my biggest hero. He is. I pattern everything I do after him, because he was a strong disciplinarian and he was a pastor. Of course, it was a Church of God in Christ. You know, if you ever heard of that, Kojic, one of those churches where you go Sunday morning and get out there Wednesday evening. So yeah, but the thing is, what I remember most of it about it is when I got off the Greyhound bus from that 7-month trip, because you know a trip around the corner from Greyhound to wherever you're going is like 4 days. It's gonna take about 4 days. So me going from LA to Alabama, it took like 7 months on Greyhound. But anyway, as soon as I got off that bus, all tired and weary, smelling like chicken and smoke, my granddad beat my ass right there at the bus station to let me know what I was in for, and he went on and set the ground rules right there, and we had our little clashes, but he got me together, and the late elder Frank McMullen is my hero, of course. My grandmother. So I was raised on my grandmother, my grandfather, and my mom when she came back to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So it worked out well.
Wow, it's quite a story. That's really interesting to hear that, once you got off that bus, you was tired, you hungry, you know what I'm saying? You smelling like all the smells because you've been
Right.
for so long. And then, your granddad is just like, I'm gonna show you what we got going on. And he just starts beating you. You're just like, oh my gosh, I just got off the bus.
I still got some welts, right? You know.
Oh
Well,
Lord. Those are battle scars.
right. Y'all wouldn't know
Not
that
welts.
about that. Y'all in this day and time, y'all would call it child abuse. But when you get hit with a Hot Wheel track, an extension cord, a hot muffler, you straighten up. You tend to straighten up. So yeah,
I had no experience. All I got growing up was that belt or punishment. That straightened
uh,
me right up. Once you
so
get
you
that, you're like, okay, I'm done.
so you never had one of your parents to beat you with your baby brother or your cousin, like they pick your cousin up and beat your ass with them. Okay, well
No,
never mind.
sir. It was a one-on-one type of thing. It was like, it's
Yeah,
me
you
and
don't. No, you hadn't lived yet. You hadn't lived yet. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you. Now, I know you did say that you grew up in the church. Now, I do want to ask, how did your upbringing in the church influence your comedic style? Who was your comedic inspiration? When did you first started getting into your comedy career as a freshman at Stillman College? Um,
Uh-huh.
was it the fall around 1985 or 1986?
You know what? I graduated from high school in 85, 86, or 87. It was all three of them. I don't remember. I wasn't taking school seriously, but I didn't go to college immediately. I played around or whatever. Didn't take anything seriously. And then I ended up going to Stillman College, which is one of the best decisions of my life. Uh, Went there for 4 to 5 years because I think I got kicked out, but don't say nothing. And I went back, got serious about it. I think my sophomore year, my junior year, because
Mhm.
I got another chance.